Your Google rankings can drop dramatically for many reasons, but most of the times it's because a page that used to rank really well stopped ranking. But the good news is that out of everything you could try to fix, this one is the easiest one to fix. Google already liked your page, and that's actually the hardest part. So we're just gonna make it like it again. So in this video, I'm gonna show you how to find what pages actually went down, as well as the two-step process to refresh your content using the newest data that's actually ranking in this moment so you can outrank them. So let's get to it. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is find the weakest link, basically the page that might have actually gone down and brought the results that you're currently experiencing. There's two ways to do it. The second one is free, but the first one is actually more advanced. So let me show you. You first need a tool called Ahrefs, or you might know SEMrush as well. Whichever one is probably fine. And what I do here, it will be similar, just different names and different buttons inside SEMrush. But we do use Ahrefs. So let's say you go here and then you need to put your actual website, the URL of your website, and then you need to scroll down and go to top pages. Like the word says, it's gonna show you the pages that actually succeeding SEO-wise and ranking in Google. But here's where normal SEOs stay, right? Oh, what pages are working? But I know it looks scary, there's a lot of filters, a lot of things, but here's where the magic, the SEO magic happens. So we're gonna look at the comparison toggle. You can actually look at the performance of, let's say, today and compare it to a specific date. So if a page used to work and now it doesn't, we can compare it to the date when it used to work. So you'll put a date here, and then suddenly you'll see a few columns come up. You want to focus on this one. Essentially, this is the traffic that this URL is getting, and this is the change in traffic from one date to another. So let's say the 9th of April, it used to have almost 600 people a month coming from Google just in that page, and now it went down to 165. So you're probably gonna have to click to sort it. At the beginning, it shows you the opposite. So the pages that actually gained a lot of positions relative to the date. You can see this one went big time. But if you sort, you'll see the bad ones, basically. You can use this report just to see what's going on, which ones went down, or if you have one URL that you're wondering about if it went down or not, and you wanna do it, you can do the same thing. And then essentially you can just do a Control F and see if it's within any of these here. And then the report actually lets you add more tabs here. Or of course, you can just export all of it, Control F and find it. But probably you won't have too many pages that went down. So if you're looking at one specifically that you know that went down, it's probably gonna be in this first report, so you'll see it. The amazing thing is that it lets you go further actually. So this is the URL that went down. What happened? Let me see the Google results. So normally we can only see the Google results of, today. We cannot look at the past. But with this tool, you can look at the top keyword that it used to rank for, and it tells you in that column here. And once you search that keyword, you'll see all the information. But if you scroll all the way down, you'll see the results. Okay. Normally it will be one set of results, but again, we've used the compare toggle, which is pretty cool. And we're doing the same thing. These are the essentially Google results today, right here on the right actually, and then you're comparing against the same keyword on a specific date. And you can see now that we used to rank position number 8 with my client, and then now suddenly it disappeared. We're not even in position 100 because this tool shows you all the way up to 100 positions, and we're not even in the top 100. So definitely something happened there. And in case it wasn't clear enough, you can actually scroll up, and then right here, you can add a URL. You can add specifically the one we want. You put exact URL, and then you can see the history of the results for your URL only. So normally this will be all selected, and it's like, scary, but you can just deselect all of them. Your one will keep selected, and you can see what happened over time instead of in a screenshot of time. So you can see 15, it went up, we got position sort of 1 to 5 around there, and it plummeted. You can see we don't exist anymore. So that's a lot of data, but you have to pay. So let's figure out the free way to do it, which is with Google Search Console. Google Search Console, I'm gonna assume, especially if you watch my videos, is the absolute main tool for SEO. It's free, and it's a connection between an SEO and Google. So it tells you a lot about it. And again, it has a compare feature. So you need to go to your results, and then normally you will see the results of a specific date. But if you go to compare, already gives you a template of a lot of comparisons to do. So you can choose any of these, or you can go to custom and select from this date to this date, from this date to this date, and then you'll see it. But to make it simple, we're gonna compare the last 3 months with the previous 3 months before those previous 3 months. It's complicated. So you'll see it here, and then again, you're seeing the whole website. In this moment, you're looking at what went down, not checking which URL went down, by how much, let's say. You're just looking at, okay, something went down, let's figure it out. So you go here and you click pages, and then you scroll and you see a lot of information. You'll see the clicks and the impressions of the last 3 months, and then the clicks and the impressions of the 3 months before that. But the difference is the important one, difference in clicks. Normally you'll see it like that. You'll see this URL right here has gained 4,000, almost 5,000 clicks from one period to another, but we want the bad stuff. The good stuff, that's all good, but the bad stuff is what you want to fix. So you click it, and right here, Google is literally telling you which ones went down. So we have more or less reached the same place that you do with the premium tool, but just for free here. And now you'll be able to know what URL went down. The problem is that you cannot do this step of looking, at the history of it and looking at the results, but that's okay because we want to know which URL went down, and then the next step, which is fixing it. So now it's time to do something about it so it actually re-ranks. So let's say you chose the Google Search Console method, and this one, you can afford to lose 1,000 clicks in a month. So we're gonna optimize this URL, okay? So what you're gonna achieve in these 2 steps is going from your old page that looked like this and had these subtitles to a new one that has completely suggested and improved subtitles based on what's actually ranking right now. So to do these changes, we need quality data. So the first place actually is in Google Search Console, because your page actually already worked. So you can go to page, exact URL, and see what keywords your URL was ranking for. Actually, you don't even have to see it. You just have to go to queries and just export them, because AI is going to actually identify which are the relevant ones. So you go here and just export into a Google Sheets. Once it's exported, it will look something like this. All 1,000 keywords is the maximum it lets you do, but it's way more than enough. And then all the data here. Now we're gonna get 2 new sources of data that are actually gonna bring your article from something that doesn't rank to something that ranks, because we're using what's actually ranking in this moment. You're not there, others are there. So let's see what they did. So the first thing is to actually get the questions that are actually here. If you click, more appear. If you watch my videos, I kind of mention this every video, but the great thing is this box here. You probably won't have it in your Google because you don't have the extension, but it's free. And the link is in the description. So once you download the extension in Chrome, you'll see this, and then you can select the amount of the level, the depth in which this tool is going to actually open these questions and download them for you. So you can see that I could do 3rd level. I'm not touching. This is just opening up. I'll go scroll down. You see it opens, and then it gets the question and the answer. Opens, gets the question and answer, and so on. And normally depth 3 is more than enough because you get a lot of questions, and depth 4 and onwards, it takes too much time. So click 3. Once you're done, you can export that, and it'll look something like this in the sheets, all the questions and the answers and the URL that's actually ranking, but we just care about the questions in this moment. And then finally, we're gonna get all the content that the competitors are actually ranking for, because they might have added something in the most up-to-date version of the Google results that we didn't, and that thing might be the one that's actually helping them rank. So normally, the old style way would be to just read and be like, oh, what did they write that I didn't? That's the old school. We can do it faster and with AI. So you just have to search your keyword. We have a search already. And another Chrome extension, I love them, they're my best friends, is SERP Snippet Extractor. It seems like it does nothing because you search in Google, you click it, and you're like, okay, that didn't work. But it did work. Because if you actually go to a Google Sheets, let's see this one right here, we have open already, and then you actually press paste, it would have gathered all the URLs from the competitors instead of having to go one by one and copy paste each one. And yes, the URLs is enough to actually extract all the content. We don't even have to open the competitor pages, because what you have to do next is actually select these URLs, and in the Sheets template that if you watch my videos, you probably already have it because you downloaded the templates. If you haven't, it's the first video. Go to the link in the description and you'll get this template and so many more. The good thing is that you get the template or the tool with a video tutorial on how to use it. So it's not like you're gonna get a lot of things that you don't know how to use. So in that moment, you just wanna paste it here in this column right here. So I would have pasted that. And then once it's pasted there, just copy it one more time. And then in here, this will be empty, okay? You need to click here, paste special, and paste transposed. So instead of a vertical sort of alignment, it's a horizontal one. And then the great thing is that this formula here is actually gonna visit this URL and it's gonna gather these stuff. These H1, H2, H3 are the subtitles that your competitors are probably using. And we don't actually need to go and get the content inside to understand what it is that they added. Normally, by just looking at the subtitles, we can understand what we need. So we just extract the subtitles and it'll look like this. It will take a little bit to appear sometimes, but then once it's like this, you don't need to look at anything. That's still the old school SEO. The new school is just copy paste. Copy pasted, boom, that's it. It's good to go. So now that we gather the data, we're gonna get all this data into the magic prompts that are gonna turn your article from something that stopped ranking and look like this into the new updated version. So here it is, the scary prompt that you're gonna use. But again, don't worry, because the link will be in the description. In the templates you download, you'll get the template that I mentioned before here. And in it, you'll get also this prompt. So basically what this prompt does is pretty simple. You want to give a source of data and it's gonna categorize if that source of data is relevant or irrelevant relative to a topic. So right now we have 3 sources of data: the Google Search Console keywords, the questions from the PA questions, I forgot. People also search, that's it. And then the scary looking competitor titles and subtitles. And then when I say relative to something, it's very simple. Relative to your target keyword, the main topic of your page. In that case, is the keyword that you were targeting with that page and you were ranking for, and that you search in Google to actually get all the data. And when you get this prompt, you'll see an X here, so you can substitute the X for that keyword. In this case, my keyword is right there. So now why not? Let's start with the PA questions. I just pasted them all in here. My prompt goes there and ChatGPT gives me the relevant and irrelevant ones. I recommend you to use the ChatGPT thinking mode if you have it, because it's sort of better at these decisions, but I've done this for several years and even ChatGPT 3.5 was good enough, okay? So now the next prompt would be all the competitor titles and subtitles. Remember, you see it looks scary, it looks like, oh, ChatGPT is definitely gonna get confused with this, but don't worry, it's actually pretty good at it. These are all the titles, you see it's pretty long, and then the prompt is right there. And then again, relevant, irrelevant out of everything. And the last one, third source of data, was the 1,000 Google Search Console keyword. Don't worry to paste them. Now ChatGPT can handle a lot of tokens, it's called, or pieces of text. When does it stop here? And then the relevant and irrelevant. And in this case, for the 3 sources, you want to ignore the irrelevant ones and then grab the relevant ones. So it will become a list of 3 sources of information. As you can see here, I've added all my relevant ones here in the second prompt we're gonna use. And the second prompt is even easier and it's only one time. So what you have to do is paste the keywords right here, like you saw. And before that, between the beginning and the keywords, again, you'll have an X there to fill it in with your information. You want to paste the current subtitle structure of your article. So to do that, you just have to go to your current article. You actually already have detailed SEO, the same Chrome extension that lets you get all the PAA questions. Now it lets you do a lot of cool things. So you go to your page, and if you go to headings, and if your article was sort of done correctly from scratch, you will see the H1, and then you'll see H2s, H3s, and so on. So you just copy all of that, okay? Because what we're gonna tell the ChatGPT, or what the prompt is gonna do, is actually gonna say, look at this information is new. From all of this, what's missing in here in the format that we want? So he actually adds it and add it in the way we want it. This is this scary looking thing, explained in like one sentence. And you can see that ChatGPT starts to do what looks like an article outline. But the great thing is that it has been instructed to add new when something new has been added. And it's actually very, very smart. I didn't think it was gonna be really good at it. I don't have like no trust on ChatGPT at all. I cross-check everything, but actually it does it really well, because it doesn't only just add subtitles or subtitles, so H3s under H2s, it actually adds unique H2s as well. So if we search by new, you'll easily be able to see the new stuff that he has added. I'm not saying that adding only H3s would not be enough to re-rank that page, but if you see that he only does that, you will think, okay, maybe he's getting confused and he did not understand he can actually add H2s as well. But you can see, for example, here, he has been adding a lot of H2s. And remember, the great thing here is that AI is giving us suggestions with our data. So it's basically almost impossible that it starts to hallucinate and say strange things, because you're not asking actually ChatGPT to give you data. That would be quite a bad mistake SEO-wise, because you could be suggesting things that should not be targeted with that page, and it's a very scary story. But now it's just, here are 3 sources of data. Just tell me what's good, and then we're good to go. And look at this, it looks a lot of new stuff. So this is definitely telling us that our page here was quite outdated relative to what Google wants right now. A crucial thing for you to know is that this prompt system that you're learning to use is not just to use it when a page went down. You can actually use it to create a page from scratch, but you need to add a few things. The great thing is that this blog right here, this video right here, goes step by step on how to do it. So after you're done with this, check this one out because it has some extra stuff that I have not mentioned in this video. And now let's look at the data. You see our article actually started to rank really well right away, but it tanked big time, and then it stayed there. And then try to guess when the update for the content using exactly what I told you in this video happened. Now here, right here, you can see literally tripled, quadrupled traffic, and then more and more and more and more, even to 500 and even higher than at the beginning. We can actually go back and see at the history of the Google results. We didn't exist, then we went up. I guess this can be this part here, but then quickly we went down. What's surprising is that we didn't go down so much to lose so many clicks, but we went down, and then the update content was done here, and then now, we're getting some positions. So something we're learning here is probably related to having the AI answers, is that you can see that there's a really big difference in terms of clicks, quite drastic, right? It's like doubling, tripling, quadrupling, depending on the position. It's not like the page went from, 5 to 20 or whatever. It just went a few positions. So it probably means, again, we all know this, but the people just stay up here, maximum here, and that's it. Funny enough, you definitely didn't realize because you don't know my client, but actually my client has been there all the time because in the most updated version of Google today, they are sort of position number 2, you could say. So they've been there all the time. So now it's time for you to check the video that I told you. I've added it in the description, and now is your turn. Let's go.